In this report, you will see exactly what a taxpayer-funded, self-serving smear actually looks like. Insofar as I can tell, you paid about $750,000 for this. So you might as well suck it up, kick back and enjoy. Three days ago now, on Saturday, I reported on, personal opinion, ANCAP's disgraceful conduct orbiting its rating of the Hyundai Palisade at 4 stars. I'll put a link just up there. Maybe, dude. This report is a follow-up on that. I'm back to you so soon on this because some important and somehow even more depressing new information has just come to light. The short version here, to bring us all up to speed, the LX2 Palisade is a 2018 design. ANCAP tested it recently according to the latest and strictest protocols, and it published a finding of 4 stars. That was 4 days ago now. The vehicle is thus 4 years older than the testing protocols to which it was subjected. It was, in a sense, tested back to the future. There's no engineering question whatsoever that I've been able to determine that had Palisade been tested in 2019, that 5 stars would have been the determination. 1 day ago now, i.e. yesterday, Hyundai issued under embargo details of the midlife sex-up for Palisade in the form of that 7-page preliminary product guide. An embargo is simply an agreement for journalists not to reveal information before a certain agreed date. It's a trust thing that puts the whole thing on a level playing field among competitors. It's probably also a contract, I suppose. Anyway, the embargo lifted this morning on the details of this upgraded vehicle. In ANCAP's official statement following its 4-star announcement 4 days ago, CEO Carla Horweg disingenuously, I would argue, begged Hyundai to upgrade the Palisade to 5 stars. This rating and timing of the upcoming model update presents an opportunity for Hyundai to factor in the necessary safety-related upgrades to elevate the Palisade to 5 stars. This is an extremely competitive market and segment, so we'd encourage Hyundai to do what they can to bring the Palisade to equal footing with its competitors. That is a direct quote from the full statement, which you can pause and read if you really want to. Once again, ANCAP is lunching here off the entirely false equivalence of 5 stars. This business about, quote, bringing the Palisade to equal footing with competitors is just nonsense. It seems to be a clear reference to the 5-star rating of most of the rest of this sort of large SUV segment under 70 grand. And the biggest seller in this segment, incidentally, Toyota Prado, 11,400 sales so far this year, v Palisade on about 1,800. Prado was awarded 5 stars by ANCAP way back now in 2011, and it has not been assessed by ANCAP since. If it were to be tested today against current criteria, it would be very lucky indeed to limp away with 2 stars. I am not exaggerating. So I call on Ms. Horweg to retract that absurdly facile statement, personal opinion, in the interest of ANCAP actually being a provider of, quote, clear, reliable and independent consumer information, unquote, on safety. Because clearly, Palisade is substantially safer than Prado. What's fucked up here is the rating system, not Palisade's performance within it. There is no, quote, equal footing to which Palisade might aspire regarding the likes of Prado or Pathfinder, both rated 5 stars in 2011. Palisade is already ahead of and far safer than those vehicles by a friggin' mile. Even a politician could understand from that handy ANCAP graphic that 5 stars is less safe the further back in time you go. There is no equivalence. There is no equal footing. This evolution is also explained there and of course there. 5 stars is so different today that they needed 3 fucking pages just to detail the bullet points of the differences. 2011 might as well have been the crash testing Jurassic. Prado and Pathfinder are merely enduring dinosaurs, kind of like chickens today. What a pity, therefore, that ANCAP seemingly does not take its own advice on heeding the date stamps in the public statements which it makes on this. The engineering dudes in-house must roll their fucking eyes when they read this equal footing and similar facile bullshit. Personal opinion. According to the Hyundai Preliminary Product Guide for Palisade, issued yesterday, released publicly today, the upgrade goes on sale in August. That's just 2 months away. So ANCAP spent $750,000. They received taxpayer funding, so it was your cash which they spent, and mine. And they made a determination on a vehicle of which only about 300 get sold every month. And that rating will be current for only the next 8 weeks. Does that seem like a particularly good investment to you? Palisade failed to get 5 stars because it just missed out by 1 percentage point on so-called adult occupant protection criteria. Next generation Palisade, I can reveal today, will feature the centre airbag and multi-collision braking system that the predecessor lacked, like the current one. And this will certainly achieve more than that which is required for 5 stars in the adult occupant protection domain for Palisade. Palisade also failed to achieve 5 stars under ANCAP in the domain of so-called safety assist. It needed 70% to get that, and it got 63. The autonomous emergency braking and lane keep assistance systems fitted to the LX2 Palisade lack the sophistication of systems fitted to peer vehicles assessed to the same criteria and have limited its rating within the safety assist area of assessment. AEB junction functionality, which helps avoid collisions in intersection turning across path scenarios, is not available. Multi-collision braking and a speed limit information system is also not available. Emergency lane keeping functionality is limited. ANCAP there from its 4-star announcement release 4 days ago, troweling it on a bit, but hey, you get the point. Anyway, according to the preliminary product guide on the Palisade upgrade, in addition to the centre anti-headbutt airbag, Palisade will get, in August, reverse parking collision avoidance assist, intelligent speed limit assist, forward collision avoidance assist, and junction turning assist. These features are included because they are clearly designed to achieve 5 stars to today's criteria. So I urge you to think just like an engineering company for a sec, dude. You release a car in 2018, okay? So you design it to achieve 5 stars in 2018. You plan a midlife makeover for 2022, and you know the roadmap to achieve 5 stars at that time because ANCAP tells you. So you plan those features for the future upgrade. Like, how else would you do this? This becomes part of the midlife model sex-up. It gives you a story to tell. Safer, sexier, more fruit. That's how this process rolls. The planning and the integration of these complex safety systems takes many months. So here's a few things that I suggest you consider before we let the bullshitters bang on about all of this too much. Firstly, Hyundai could not have adapted Palisade to 5 stars in August if it had not planned those revisions extensively, some from the ground up and some integrated over the past several months at least. The goal here appears always to have been to field a 5-star vehicle for the life of that vehicle according to the criteria which pertained at the time of the launch/upgrade. Secondly, this could not possibly be a response to ANCAP's bullshit call for safety revisions to Palisade. You just can't integrate a centre airbag and multi-collision braking system over the fucking weekend. It just doesn't work that way, dude. Like, we're not talking mighty car mods here. With all due respect to Marty and Moog, whom I love in a 100% platonic and totally hetero way. Not that there's anything wrong with the alternative, I suppose, if that's the kind of thing to which you are in. But don't be surprised if you hear some bullshit narrative from ANCAP to the effect that this upgrade to 5 stars is a response to them calling for exactly that sometime down the track. They could not have dragged this upgrade out of any car company in the time if it had not been planned all along. Not even in Gitmo, with a fresh battery and jumper leads and a sponge and a bucket of really salty water. The big question is, to me at least, why spend the 750 grand on a rating that would expire 8 weeks after it was announced, when they knew the upgrade was imminent? That's evidenced in their announcement, right? Why not just pick up the fucking telephone, sign an NDA, even if that NDA is 3.5 feet high or something, and do actual consumers a favour by spending money efficiently and testing the model that will be on sale for the next 4 fucking years as opposed to the next 8 weeks. Now, it may be that some of the testing needs not be redone to re-rate the Palisade, okay? They will certainly have to go again with much of the safety assist testing, and there might be another couple of $100 grand in that, I don't know, but they might get away with including the centre airbag in the absence of performing a physical crash test. Hyundai might have the data for that, and I guess ANCAP's propeller heads could go out and validate that. So, where are we on all of this? This seems to me to be either spectacularly incompetent or depressingly political behaviour. Like, it would be dead easy to spin the shit out of this somewhere in the Lobbyland sewer at some time when ANCAP gets its hand out and begs for further fat stacks of your taxpayer cash. I could see that. I could see some evil spin doctor claiming to some dogshit dumb politician or bureaucrat, like, look, right here, Palisade was a 4-star shitbox. We named it and shamed it. They immediately bent over and upgraded it. It's what we do. What more evidence do you need than this? That this is taxpayer money well spent. We're saving lives on Australian roads. Again, still, dude. I do wonder if that's the underlying motivation, and it could well be. I'm struggling to see a dimension to this behaviour outside of the domains of incompetence and or politics. And I suppose with the bat pumpy at my head, I think I'd have to bet on it being abject political shit fuckery. Balance of probability. I doubt there would be much of a clean-up to follow on the adjacent wall if we went with that, but of course, one never knows. I do know that the loser in all of this is clearly you, because you paid for this rat arsery. To Ms. Horweg and ANCAP more broadly, I would close by saying that I think you're doing the public a gross disservice every time you imply expediently that all 5-star ratings are equivalent. They simply are not. This is stated on your website. This matters because lives are at stake, and ANCAP appears to think that it has some at least vestigial credibility in this area to leverage. Now, it's fair to say, I think, that I probably know more about crash testing than most people. And I cannot think of a crash that I would rather have in a 5-star Prado or Pathfinder with the rating from 2011 versus a 4-star Palisade from 2022 or a 5-star Palisade from August. This implied and entirely false equivalence of 5 stars, irrespective of the date, is made not once but twice in ANCAP's disgraceful Palisade release. Also of note, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety in America has seen fit to award Palisade the coveted Top Safety Pick Plus award for both 2021 and 2022. What a frigging tongue twister. And the IIHS is the big dog globally of crashworthiness in my estimation. They do a fucking awesome job determining their results and an even better job simplifying them and explaining them to the general public. Under the IIHS system, Palisade gets the highest possible award 2 years in a row. These two organisations, ANCAP and the IIHS, I would argue, simply cannot both be right because we're talking about essentially exactly the same vehicle. So I suppose you have to decide who's more credible and who can you trust?